Welcome to Flourish, the podcast for faith-driven mompreneurs who are ready to release overwhelm, create sustainable, healthy habits, and build purpose-driven businesses aligned with their faith, family, and vision. I'm Stephanie Book, a transformational mindset, wellness, and business coach. I'm here to equip you with the tools, mindset shifts, and encouragement to help you flourish. If you're ready to grow a thriving life and business while staying aligned with your faith, purpose, and priorities, you're in the right place. You are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. I have been working through some different decision making, and I talked about that last week on the episode. So if you missed it, make sure you check that out so you can hear a little bit of my journey of a decision that I'm stepping into and making with my husband and I as we were choosing those next steps of where we want to move forward, making sure that we're aligned with what God wants us to be doing. And so I've had a bunch of different things planned for March, and it's just kind of shifted and changed around a little bit. And so I have actually tried to restart this podcast about 7 times, I think, before hitting record again, because I just was a little bit maybe lost in what I wanted to share. And it's funny because I was trying to think through different things that I could share, and having clarity is one of the things that was resonating with me as I was kind of brainstorming some ideas. And I think often we lose sight of the full picture. So I was on a training this morning with my health coaching, and they're so good at being able to share those ways to reframe things, look at things differently. And that has been one of the biggest growths that I have had in my entire life, is the step of that personal development and mindset journey. Yes, the health journey has been a good part of that, becoming healthier inside in my body, but also becoming healthier in my mindset. And today we were talking a little bit about maybe some of the being vulnerable about the different struggles and things that we have walked through in our lives, where we're at. And one thing I do know, as I was sitting there listening to the leader talk about it, and I was thinking, I was actually kind of frustrated a little bit, because I feel like over the last year, I have been through a lot of different changes in our life, changes and shifts in my business, with my mom and moving her into assisted living, my daughter moving out. And so really stepping into empty nesting, and just really trying to build this new area of my business. So there's a lot of things that have gone on, all good things, most of them all good things, but a lot of changes. And I turned 50 years old, now I'm 51. And so there's a whole area of my life shifting, my body shifting into these different things. And so I've gained a little bit of weight. And so I was thinking earlier, even when I woke up this morning, I thought I felt like I was slipping back into old habits that I had over 7 years ago when I stepped into my health journey. And then I was feeling a little bit ashamed. I haven't shared a lot of before and after pictures of myself. And I'm seeing myself revert back to some old habits or old habits of thinking. And yet I'm telling you every single week how to reframe the thoughts that are on your heart and on your mind, and that we're going to the Lord. And I'm doing those things, but it's amazing how easily those old soundtracks can jump into our heart and to our minds and really try to penetrate and help you be blinded by all the changes that have occurred in your life. And when you're in this point of clarity, I feel like a lot of things have been unclear for a while. What should I do with my health coaching business? Because what that has done for me has been life-changing. Just because I'm not at the exact weight that I want it to be, or I'm at the results that I would love to see myself at, it doesn't mean that I'm not continuing to grow and learn. My mindset is continually growing. I'm learning how to see things in a different way. And 7 years ago, this podcast didn't exist, because I would not have had the confidence to do so. I would not have been so vulnerable or as open to share the different things that are going on in my heart, because I'd be too worried about what other people might think. And over the last, little while, I have been learning a little bit more about just sharing, just being real, being authentic, because honestly, no one wants to listen to someone that's not authentic. I feel like I've always tried to be true. Like I'm not lying or feeling like I'm telling the whole truth, because I have seen all these changes and I am healthier. Even though I'm not at the weight that I want to be, I am stronger than I've probably ever been. I have the better mindset and I have a better outlook on food for the most part. I just have gone through some hormonal changes, some, life changes, and those emotions can play a big part in the changes that we're walking through in our body. So it doesn't mean that I have failed in any way, but yet these are stepping stones to bringing me into who I am and how I can serve people better. So when I was listening to that leader today, and she was encouraging us to kind of talk about, the ways that life has changed for us. And at first I was frustrated, and I messaged a couple of my other coaching friends and said, I hear what she's saying, but I was feeling like maybe a little bit of an imposter because I'm not at the healthy weight. I saw a video of myself back from 2020, and I definitely had, I was thinner in that. But I also am thinking back that I was in a different weight. I was thinner and I was at a healthier weight, I would say, but a lot of my body is in a healthier space now. Even though maybe my weight is up more, I have more muscle mass, I'm definitely more, my heart is healthier. Like, a lot of different things have changed in my life since that time. And so I was ashamed, I would say, when I first saw that, because I thought, wow, that Stephanie looks a lot better than the Stephanie currently. But then that's the old way of speaking over myself, right? That is the old Stephanie that says that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough to share these things. And at that point, I was living high because I was feeling really good healthy-wise. But even back then, in 2020, the video was talking about how I wanted to take my health to the next level. And so I was realizing that, at that point in my life, I didn't even recognize what I had created because it was still so new. I was still, I don't know, I've grown a lot since that point. And so that girl, I remember when I did that video, when I saw it, I remember it was in 2020, we were all stuck at home, and I was like, okay, well, I can't do anything else, so I'll just focus more on my health. And it really didn't change that much, but I continued to work on my mindset. And that's really where the growth started, where I really started shifting into becoming who I am today. And, that all of that part of my journey, whether where I was at when I first started, where I felt completely empty and lost and thought I was never going to amount to anything back in 2018 in January when I started my health journey, to where that was in the 2020 towards the beginning of the year. And now here I am in 2025, and knowing that I'm still putting my faith forward. I'm still putting my health at the front of my mind. I don't always make the best choices, but we're human, right? And I have all those different factors. And, I was worried about making those excuses, thinking maybe I'm just making excuses for life. And maybe I am, as far as some of the choices that I'm making with maybe what I'm putting inside my mouth. Or maybe allowing sometimes emotions to overtake me when things are hard. But what's really cool is that I can recognize when I'm doing that. And I can see when I'm making choices that are out of emotion versus out of just feeling like it's not going to happen or it's not going to change. And so, I don't know, this is not going anywhere where I thought it was going to go today. Hey friends, I want to make sure that I let you know about the Flourish Accelerator coming soon in April. This is going to be a 4-week course where I will help you start gaining that clarity, reducing that overwhelm so that you can step in, create the business that you want to create. We'll go through not only understanding the audience that you want to serve, but knowing how exactly what they want and how you can help them. We're going to help you overcome the fears that you have and help you really get started. It'd be that jump start to really get the business going that you have wanted to do so for so long. We're going to make sure we can see how it can align with your faith and have your family and the other things that are important to you not feel like they are being put on the back burner as you're working towards your goals. So be looking out for the Flourish Accelerator coming very soon. If you want to know more, put Flourish in the comments or send me a message on Instagram at steph.book, and I will get you all of the details as soon as it's ready. My friends, I am so excited to be able to help you step in and finally create the business that you want to create. If you want some help until that is ready, make sure that you put Toolkit in the comments and you'll receive my Faith and Flourish Entrepreneurial Toolkit, which has all kinds of foundational principles and ways that you can work through to help you even get started for when that course arrives. But I just felt called to talk about it because I think that I talk a lot about how we see ourselves and how we measure our success or measure our value or our worthiness. And if I look at the old style, the old way of measuring who I am, then it's I will never measure up to what I think I should be, right? So I'm pretty emotional on this because I think that when we tie our worthiness to the outward appearance or the accolades that we think we should have, or the success we map out in our mind that we want to see, or whatever it is that's in front of you that you're measuring your success on, measuring your value on. And that's not the right measure. God talks about how wonderfully he made us. He talks about we were formed before we were even here, right? He knew every little bit of us. When you read Psalm 139, it's hard to even believe that he thought about us that much. And so how dare I pick apart the person that God made me, because I'm not measuring to those standards that I've put on myself, right? Yes, we can get in comparison and we can look at the people around us and think, oh, well, they're just like, they don't understand because they have this great, physical health or they're beautiful, or, oh, they're so successful and they have all this business coming at them, or, oh, they have the perfect family, or, you fill in the blank. But that's when we're comparing things that we shouldn't be comparing to. We get to look at who God created us to be, who he made us to be, and be like, wow, God took the time to love and create me as me, and that I'm worthy to be called his daughter and to be thought of in such an amazing, precious way, right? So why do we allow all of that comparison? Why do we allow that negative self-talk speak louder than what the Father is saying about us? And so I guess this talk is probably for me more than it is for you, but I do hope that you can identify with this a little bit, that you can see and be able to recognize when you are stepping out of what God says about you and you need to step into what he is saying about you instead. That our worthiness is not relied on what we're doing right or wrong. Yes, we want to make sure that we're following along with God asks us to do, but we mess up. It doesn't mean he stops loving us. If we continue to go to him, we bow down to him, we go to him for our forgiveness. We go to him for our true value. Our worth comes through who he created us to be. He didn't design you for you to walk around and feel bad about who you are. I mean, we want to make sure we're attentive to the choices that we're making that are not aligning with the Lord. I mean, that's where sin is going to be part of our lives. And that's going to be an issue that we will deal with because we're sinful people. But God's grace, he has given us, he has loved us, he's created us, and he loves us. And when we go to him, he just is like, anytime you have been in, when you're a little one and you've done something wrong, or you're scared, or something has happened, and you go to the one that's caring for you, your mom and your dad or your grandma or whoever it is, and then they just give you this big hug and they just hug you and they love you and they say, it's okay, I'm here, I love you, you're okay. And that's what God does for us every single day. We don't get to always actually hug him, but if we get to recognize that he is there and his arms are open wide, ready to hold on to you, grasp you, and just say, I'm here, I love you. So I hope that today, as I'm sitting here crying, I hope that you can see what I need to remind myself of every day when I look in the mirror, or when I get on social media, or my eyes start wandering off to either side instead of looking and focusing on what God says, we can really become such a roadblock to ourselves because we don't allow the Lord to live in and through us. So I hope that, one, encourages you that you're not alone, that we all go through times where we feel that we feel like we're spinning. We feel like we're not on the road maybe that we want to be, but know that it's okay and it's part of the journey. The path is curvy, right? The road is not a straight line. We're not going to get from one place to the next place just simply. There's going to be roadblocks along the way. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be bruises. There's going to be turns, the wrong turns that you took. You took when you maybe thought this way was right, but you took the other way. And guess what? That's okay. God still loves you. You just go back to him and he will get you back on the straight path that he wants you to go to. But just know that, one, don't give up. Continue to move forward. Continue to rely on the Lord. Go to him. Seek him. Know that he's got you. His arms are open up wide, and he just wants you to step into his arms, and he'll carry you through. So friends, I really, truly hope that you understand that you are worthy and capable of doing amazing things, that you can live a full and flourishing life, but it takes daily steps every day to decide, one, to keep going, two, to tune into the Lord and know that he is there to guide you, and just understand that you get to do the steps, but God is going to walk you through it, and he's going to carry you through it. My friends, success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. So go and do the things that are on your heart and on your mind, and don't allow that negative roommate that's in your mind trying to tell you that you're not worthy. Don't let that happen. Don't let that rule your life, but step into what God has for you. Take care. Thank you for joining me on Flourish. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and equipped to take your next step with confidence. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs this encouragement. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at steph.book and join our Facebook community of faith-driven women who are ready to flourish. Make sure to check out the show notes for all the ways we can connect and continue this journey of growth together. My friends, remember, you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Take care.